everyone, thanks for watching. Today I'll be showing you a process video of a layout which I've named First Tooth using Kiwi templates, and I will be featuring the Hip Kit Club monthly kit, which this is the March kit, and it's the main kit, the Project Life kit, and the embellishment kit. Those are the collections that I purchased, and as you can see, I have already traced out my my template, and I am using the lacy trim number 2. And this lacy trim is on sale this month for an additional 15% off. So if you're looking at perhaps buying it, I will have a link in my descriptions below, and it is definitely a great template to have. There's 2 other ones that come with it. One looks more like a gear, and the other one looks kind of like almost like a sun, I would say. It has the pointy edges. So I'm cutting my template out, and I apologize that you cannot see it here. So I sped up the process a bit since you really can't see me cutting out the template, but it's a little difficult to cut when you're trying to record and getting the right angles and being able to see what you're cutting. So that paper that you see in the background is from the kit, and it's by Heidi Swap. I believe it's called Color Fresh. It's a very pretty, it almost looks like it's watercolored, and I absolutely loved using it. So as you can see, I've switched scissors. I love my Tim Holtz, and I use absolutely a lot, but I really mean it. I absolutely do love these scissors. I feel like I can get a lot more cut out. I have ordered the 2 smaller ones. I believe it's a 6-inch or 5-inch and a 7-inch. I should be getting them tomorrow. I can't wait to try them out, because I either have all or nothing. I either have those tiny, I think those are by EK Success that you see there on the left. I have a pair of cutter bees that are also tiny, and I have ones that are, I'm not even sure who makes them, but they're even smaller. So this is like my go-to scissor. And for this layout, I decided to use the Tea-Dye Distress ink by Tim Holtz to ink my edges. And after I did it, I was like, oh, I think it would look so much better with my hickory smoke, but you know, it is what it is. That's what it's going to be. I'm also going to use the ring, which you see in the background, because I felt like my my lacy trim was very big, and I only had a 4x4 picture. So I'm going to use this Maggie Holmes Sunny Days paper, and I'm going to cut my ring out. And if you carefully cut out the middle portion, then you don't have to waste paper, which is what I will be doing. And you're going to see me pull out my tiny gold scissors in a little bit. So those are the tiny scissors I'm talking about. They're great when you're doing like small florals or anything that's small, that's round, that has like a round shape. But I only use it to poke a little hole, cut a couple, like maybe 1 inch, and then I use bigger scissors because they are tiny. I don't think they're even 1 inch shear. So I just want to take a moment to thank you all for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please click on my subscribe button. And if you want to be notified, which I'd love for you to be notified, click on the little bell and you'll get notifications when I have new content. At the current time, I am trying very hard to get 2 videos a week, of 2 process videos a week, and so far so good. I'm ahead of the game. I also am going to try to do a third short technique video every week. So I'm just trying to get that squared away and figured out how I'm going to, or what my first technique is, and hopefully that'll be up on the weekends. So now I'm cutting the next ring, which if you saw me do it, all I did was cut out the middle portion. And at first I thought this was the design I was looking for. But then the blue hearts, although I love the blue heart paper, I felt like it was just a little too much. I liked the white and like dotted portion because it wasn't that, like the blue wasn't as loud, but the blue hearts with, the royal, and I thought it was just too much. So now I'm just shopping around again and looking at different pattern papers, and I'm like, I keep going back to this one, and then I picked this gold one, and it is absolutely stunning. But I keep going back to my watercolor paper. So I'm going to stick with the Heidi Swapp color paper, watercolor looking paper, and here I am pulling out my distress ink. I'm also going to use my Close to My Heart tool to distress, which you can see me doing that. Wow, this video is so out of, I'm so not in focus here. I do apologize for that. Now I'm going to show you real quick how you can, if you don't have the tool, if you have the tool, so there's a couple different ones. I believe there's one by We Are Memory Keepers as well. And basically it's a blade, and you just kind of rough up the edges. There's other ways of doing it in the event that you do not have this tool, which is just by using the edge of your scissor. And when you want to do that, you want to make sure that you have, as you can see, I'm doing it now, you want to make sure you have good control of the paper, a good grip, because you can tear the paper depending on how sharp the scissor is. But you also can use a nail file. And using a nail file or like a nail buffer will give you a less distressed, it'll just basically fade out your paper instead of giving you a rough edge. Here I can't see what I'm doing. I think I'm using the scissor as well. Yeah. And I'm inking the edges, and I don't end up using the blue hearts as if you saw in the picture. I actually end up flipping it over and using the other side, which is this white and blue paper. Again, I do want to apologize that I'm not in the focus of the camera. I guess I must have moved it, but hopefully soon I will realize it and get into focus. So this adorable little baby that you see there is my husband's little cousin that we absolutely adore. I've been working on her photo book for a while, and I actually started using Kiwi Lane because I wanted to make an album for her. So that's my story about using Kiwi Lane, or starting with Kiwi Lane. I bought my first couple of templates, and I soon decided that it was a lot more cost effective for me to become a demonstrator, or instructor as they call it. And I really enjoy making videos. For me, it's easier to make videos than it is to figure out how to make parties or have people over and do sales or any of that stuff. So I'm hoping that through my videos, I'll get some sales. So here I am using a Close to My Heart it's like a little filing block. You can also, use a filing block. You can just use a regular nail file. I just happened to pick that one. I normally have a nail file nearby, and I'm just going to ink the edges, and I think afterwards I will start to put my layout together. I apologize for my obnoxious dog who's under my desk. Actually, my two dogs are under my desk, and one of them is just not in a good mood today. So she's just, you know, grunting at the other one. So I'm going to decide that I really want to use this paper. It's so pretty, and I want to use it as a photo mat. But I'm trying to find the right spot of where to use it, because if you look at the corners, they kind of have a lot of white space, and I didn't want to have just white space. So I'm going to slide it down a bit and go a little bit, a few inches down from the page to actually like about 1.5 inches or so away from the bottom of the page. This paper is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I apologize for that. I just banged my watch. This paper is it's by Maggie Holmes, and it's from her Sunny Days collection, which I believe is a brand new collection that just came out at Creativation. It is stunning, and the back is so pretty as well. I like, it's kind of hard to use such a pretty paper like this to use the B side of it when the A side is absolutely stunning. So as you can see here, I'm like, I'm not really digging. I'm like looking at it. I'm trying to figure it out, how I want to do it. And that blue right now is when I'm starting to realize that we're not going to be friends, and it's a little too bold for what I want. It does take me a couple minutes to figure it out, though. But here, I think, is when things just start to come together. So I printed out one of the catalogs, and I just printed out the pages that actually had the templates on it. And I put them back to back to each other, so there'd be two on each side, or one on each side, and I laminated them so that I can have a visual of all the different templates. I almost have all of them. I'm pretty sure I'm missing maybe one or two, so I know by looking at them if I have them or not. And so you saw me point at the one that I was planning on using, which is the Madison Avenue, and I am just trying to figure out if I want this to be a vertical or horizontal. And I just felt like the page needed an anchor, like a frame or something to set my picture and this lacy trim on, almost like to anchor it to the page or hold it down, or hold it up rather. So I'm just trying to figure out what paper I'm going to use, and I do end up using this pink, let's see if I can tell you what the name of this one is. I'm sorry that I'm not as prepared as usual. It is it's also by the Heidi Swapp Color Fresh collection. And the background, the back page, or the B-side, is a real pretty pink, green and white polka. It's like white with a green large, like almost watercolored dot. You're going to see me end up using that as well. Although I don't have green on the page, I just have when my page is complete, you only see very small details of the green. Okay, so there you see the green and white, and I'm just trying to play with it and see what I'm going to end up doing. And I'm definitely going to use the B side. or both sides. So at first I put it on the left side, and then I realized that was a little too much green going on, and I wanted to slide this circle, but then I realized I didn't want the blue. Just, I don't know, something about that blue paper I wasn't happy with. So I'm actually going to flip it over and introduce that circle kind of like a ring. And there you can see that my green isn't as, there isn't as much green on there. So while I figure out where my picture is going to go, I just want to remind you all to make sure you like and subscribe. I am at 500 subscribers. I will be announcing my first giveaway, and you will have to be subscribed, and so might as well subscribe now so that you know when the giveaway is coming. I am giving away a $50 Kiwi Lane gift card to my Kiwi Lane shop, and you can buy whatever you'd like from the Kiwi Lane shop. They have all kinds of awesome things. And I also want to spotlight the monthly kit. If you haven't joined the monthly kit, it is amazing. I love the paper. I think it's one of the best paper qualities out there. Also, it just, everything works together. You don't have to think about it. It's a great way to get older papers scrapbooked. If you struggle with trying to put things together and figure out what papers to use, a kit can definitely go a long way. You can easily create anywhere from 4 single-page layouts, maybe even 5. I think I've done 5 pages, and I've actually had enough scraps to make cards, which I am going to drop a little link right above here on the right-hand corner for a video showing, or a video showing of all the layouts that I made using one kit. And so here I'm starting to stick everything together, and I cut this really thin strip of the blue and the pink, and I'm not sure why that paper doesn't offend me as much as the heart one, but whatever. Maybe it's because it has pink in it. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to ink that, and I'm going to adhere it, as you saw me put some adhesive down, which I want to mention that I use a Tombow Mono adhesive runners. I also sometimes occasionally will also use my ATG gun by Scotch. I just feel that it's very big when I'm making videos. Like, I feel like it's very big and clunky, and I'd rather use these small guns. But when I'm doing, when I scrapbook for myself where I'm not recording, I do use my ATG gun. And I will link most of the things that I can in my description with affiliate links, which if you're looking for one of these items and you're on Amazon Prime, if you don't mind using my affiliate links, I'd really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you any extra. I just get a little itty bitty, and I mean itty bitty, commission for being an affiliate. So here I'm starting to glue everything down, and I am happy with my placement. I'm happy where everything is. I'm loving how this ring looks, and next we're going to tackle the different embellishment clusters that I'm going to create. And personally, I like to have 3 embellishment clusters so that it is a little more pleasing to the eye. I am also using my fun foam to pop up my picture, and in case you're interested, I just use regular fun foam from Walmart. This one, it does not have adhesive. When I bought it, I really wanted the one with the one side of adhesive, but they didn't have it. So I ended up with the no adhesive. It is super cheap. It's like 50 sheets, I think was like $4. And if you have, if you go to Hobby Lobby or one of them, you can use a coupon. So it's super inexpensive. And I like that it's not as thick as the Pop Dots and a lot of other, dimensional types of adhesives. I will say that don't think that it's archival safe, but I really, that's not important to me. I don't think, it's not touching the picture. I don't see why it would create any damage to it. And then again, I'm scrapbooking for myself and my family. It's not going into the MoMA or any other, American Museum of anything. So it's going in the museum that's called my scrap room. Or in this particular layout, this one will be going to Leani when she's a little older. So here I'm just going through my embellishments, and I'm just fumbling through the pocket letter or pocket life, whatever it's called. They have a different name, but it's a project lifestyle style of scrapping. So they have the 3x4 and the 4x6 card. So I was just looking through them to see if I could find something that I'd like to maybe cut out and use as a title. I did not see anything, and I actually end up using my Charmed, and this is one of probably my most used templates. It's the little file folder, the little tab, and it's the Tiny Charmed 3. It's in the tiny accessories section, and I wanted to use some of the green, so I'm going to cut out that little corner right there. So I'm really excited to record my next page, because I bought a new camera, so I will no longer be using my iPhone, and it's nothing fancy. It's just a handheld camcorder, but I was having a lot of issues using my cell phone. For one, I can't see if I'm in focus or not, as you can tell, since most of this video has been out of the focus of the camera. And the other thing was that my phone was heating up, and even though I would keep the screen brightness down to the minimum, it was still getting very hot. And a couple times I got a phone call while I was recording, and since it was on vibrate, I didn't hear it or see it, and I was creating and not recording. So definitely glad that I can no longer have to worry about any of that. So here I'm just going through my embellishments to see if there's anything that I want to use, and I end up finding an adorable little, and actually I'm just tidying up a little because there's like an avalanche going on my desk. So yeah, it was starting to, everything was falling all over the place. I couldn't find anything. So I kind of put all my embellishments on top so that I can see what I have. I definitely want to use one of these bows, and it's a Maggie Holmes, and it's from the same Summer Sunny Days collection. And then the Hip Kit Club has their exclusive stickers and stuff that they use in their kits, and I will be using one of them, which I'm going to trim down onto my tag, and it says, "Look at your smile." And I thought it was perfect. I was like, wow, like, she's smiling. This says, "Look at your smile." It's meant to be on this page. So I am just trying to get it straight and adhere it again to my picture. And I got a little too much adhesive on it, so I was just trying to remove some of the adhesive from the edges so that you didn't see the dark adhesive spots on it. So then next I am going to, I really like that blue and pink paper. I'm really happy with it, and I think at this point I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to use for my title. I'm looking at these little clips that came in the kit as well, and none of that's really calling my name. So I end up cutting a couple of other things from the Charmed set, and as you can see, there's my butterfly, and I decide to cut out 2 butterflies in that pink and green paper, and that one is the one that's the back is the green. So no, actually that's the wrong one. Let's see. That one is also from the Maggie Holmes Sunny Days collection, and it's just such a pretty color combination. So I'm going to cut out my butterflies. And then what I do is I kind of fold it in the middle so that the wings kind of like pop up a little bit. I'm going to add adhesive right to the middle. I'm going to add a little bit of Tim Holtz Distressing to my edges, and then I'm going to stick that down right there. And then I'm trying to figure out what I can do in that top corner. So I'm going to cut this circle in half, and I like the way that looks there, but I feel like it just needs something else under it. Maybe something coordinating, perhaps that pink paper that I used for the lacy trims. And I end up using the Charmed number 6 to cut out this little, I don't know, ribbon. Yeah, I guess you can call that a ribbon. But I'm not going to make it with that triangle with the pointy edge on the top. I'm just going to do the bottom portion of it. You're not going to actually see it. And I will be distressing this as well and inking it. Not that you could see that, but I guess I better narrate a little better since you can't see anything I'm doing. So at first I was going to leave the edge, and then I decided not to. So I'm going to pop up my circle because I want the circle to be popped up off of the little triangle thing, or the little ribbon. So I'm going to end up cutting off the tip of it. So now I'm going to start working on that little cluster up top. And I'm going to stick it down because I just realized that it wasn't adhered. And I'm realize it's not straight, so I want to make sure that my circle is. Sometimes you have to move the paper around, and I noticed twice, and you'll see this later, that you got to put things in your your visual line, like right up at the top of the page. I'm sitting down, I could not see if it was straight or not until I moved it closer to me. So here I am tracing out another butterfly, which I'm going to trim out real quick. So as I cut my butterfly, I just want to take a moment to thank you for watching. I'm sure I said thank you before, but thank you. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy using Kiwi Lane. If you haven't tried it, you're missing out. It's just so much easier. When I first was introduced to Kiwi Lane, I was at a crop, and I have 3 kids, and all 3 of them are grown. My youngest is 21. And I have a lot of pictures. I mean, a lot of printed pictures. I would say about maybe 15 to 20 photo boxes of pictures that are not even in any way, shape, or form organized in any way. So when I started looking at them, I was like, wow, this is something I can just pick a kit and just sit at the TV and scrapbook. Because, I mean, it makes it so easy. I don't need a machine. I just need scissors and a pencil. I can take this when we travel, you know, road trips. At the time, my son was in the military, so we were driving out to Kansas a couple times a year, and it's about 22 hours sitting in a car, and I figured, I can do this. And that's how I bought my first set of templates, with that expectation. And I truly am so grateful that my, what would I call her? My up person, a person above me, the person who I signed under, her name's Annis. And although I'm not the best instructor, I have horrible sales because I'm buy for myself, basically. I know that she's always there for me if I have any questions. She's quick to answer them. She is definitely a great leader. But anyway, getting back into our layout here. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put this first tooth, which is my title, and it is a not Heidi Swap. It is Thickers, and they're just Thickers foam alphabet. And I don't think they have a name. Burn. I think that's the name, B-R-Y-N. So I'm just going to put the first alpha. I'm using some of my Heidi Swap Color Shine to add some ink splatters. And these hearts are exclusives also from Hip Kit Club. And I wanted to use some of the hearts and just sprinkle a couple of them on the page. So yeah, so going back to my story. So that is how I started with Kiwi Lane. Over a year ago. And since then, my son's no longer in the military. And I still have all these pictures to scrapbook. And then I decided to throw videos in the mix because I really enjoy teaching. I work a full-time job, so I try to do as much as I can with the time that I have. I have a very supportive family, so they do help out around the house. And, you know, I could not do the videos, editing, and the voiceovers, everything that goes along with it without them. So back to my layout here. So I pulled out this, this was also in one of the kits. It's by Heidi Swap, and it's like an ephemera pack. And it has a lot of really cute little fun things in it. And that's where I found the Smiles All Around and the Babe, which I end up not using. I don't know, I mean, she's a baby. I don't know why I thought Babe would work, but... So I'm looking to see what I can use behind the Smiles All Around. I was thinking maybe that tag, but didn't really like any of those placements, but I really liked how it looked under that bow. Also, the little heart the heart that's above the bow. It says my favorite, and it's gold foiled and it's so pretty. So that's where it's going to end up. I started looking at the washi tape that came with the kit, but decided to go against it. Now I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to use on the body of my butterflies, because I felt like they were a little on the plain side. We did get these yellow, they're like an orangey yellow colored stone, but I felt like they were too big. And so I pulled out my little container of bits, and I'm just trying to see what I want to use. And I end up using these pink, I don't even know what they are, but they're little pink thingamajiggies. And that is what I end up finishing my layout with. Thanks for watching. Make sure you stay till the end. I'll have some links and some pictures of the layout. I really appreciate your subscription. Please subscribe, and I will see you soon. Have a great day.